Hi everybody, it's your old pal Chuck, and I'm back with another review. Today we are taking a look at, from Transformers Combiner Wars, this is Offroad. Offroad is a new character that is basically a color partner to Wild Rider. It is not a sports car, it transforms into like a sports utility pickup truck. And I have to say, it is a fantastic figure and might be my favorite of the line. Now, before we get too far into the figure, it does come with a melee weapon, this rather nice axe, but again, I have to say, enough with the melee weapons. I've had it. It was a creation of the movies. Yes, I understand the movie writers said it made sense for the Autobots to use swords and spears and close combat. Enough. The Stunticons should have had handguns. I'm sure some third party's going to take care of that, but whatever. And yeah, I understand you have like the limb pieces that can double as hand weapons, but that's not the same. It really isn't. But so I want to show you something right now, and you're going to experience a little bit of the Chuck rambling. So here's Off-Road, okay? Every other Stunticon, the head is a separate piece from the connecting port. Breakdown and Dead End have a chest plate that flips over, and really sort of hides the connecting port that the head is attached to. Dragstrip, if you remember, the head just flips back. The head is attached, like the Autobots. Also, Breakdown utilizes the same knee-hip gear integration that the aerial bots do. This is what I'm getting at. Off-road. Here's Alpha Bravo. Alpha Bravo, as we all know, for the aerial bots, is again a new mold, new character, based on the color palette of Slingshot. I have not found any shared parts, but I can't help but feel these guys share some tooling somehow. They're both tall and lanky, which none of the other figures are. The aerial bots are a little shorter and stockier. The Stunticons are tall, but they're stocky. But they have that, if you do away with all the mass of the helicopter and truck and just focus on the torso, they have that slender design. But like I said, I opened these up, not a single part is the same. Not even the connector ports. There's different molding on the chest. I want to say I think the best I can explain is they're Buck brothers. They share the same buck. The buck is the basic framework, and that's how things come together. It's not that it's the same tooling, but it's the same basic design of how things come together, and then you add stuff on top of it. I know this is crazy. This just, might be a happy coincidence or whatever, but I mean, it's just so many, bits that are shared. I just thought it was similar. Transformation for Off-Road, like pretty much all the other Combiner Wars figures, is fairly simple. First, what you want to go ahead and do is peg the shoulder armor into the side of the arms here. Now, one thing you're going to notice is the arm is actually not going to be bent perfectly straight. You want it curved slightly to tap into place. Next, what you want to go ahead and do is just go ahead and peg the legs together. Come around the back, and you're just going to want to fold the will be the front of the car just back and out of the way so you have some room to maneuver. Go ahead, flip the head around just like so, and then bring the arms up and bring them down, bringing that shoulder joint down and moving it flush with the body. It's a tight joint, which again, I don't complain about. So you can just go ahead and do that. And then, like on the aerial bots, go ahead, flip the legs in and down, bringing it in and flush like so, closing up the limbs. The rear of the legs will peg into that little under canopy, and probably chances are the arms might have loosened up. You can't actually wait until to peg the arms in until after you do the legs. That might actually be a little bit easier. And then what you want to do is come around and then just peg the front of the truck in, give everything a nice little squeeze, and here you have Offroad in its truck mode. Rolls quite nicely. But wait, we're not done. Again, like Alpha Bravo, Offroad and the other Stunticons, except for Dead End, we'll get to that, feature a very unique integration with their weapon limb part. You'll notice the tab here that was on the back of one of the legs. Now, at first I thought it might have been for the axe, since it has a little slot here where my thumb is. In truth, if you come in the split of what would be Menassor's hand, pretty much where you would do, ironically, the Live Long and Prosper, there is a little notch. That will peg in just like so, and that's actually how the weapon stores. It now looks like Offroad has an extra engine piece. The axe you can store on either peg here on the side. I tend to prefer to use this side just so we can have the blade facing down. Just like so. And there, you have an armored up truck. Unfortunately, you cannot get the axe to stay in facing out, so no crazy driver mode for those of you who are fans of that sort of thing. Okay, we're going to do leg mode now, and as you can see, I've sort of gone ahead and retransformed Offroad a bit. Much like Alpha Bravo, you kind of have to, and the aerial bots, you kind of have to open up the legs to be able to swing the head around and get the joint out. So that's the first thing we're going to do. Let's just go ahead and pop that out, and then you can go ahead and close up the legs again, make sure everything's pegged in, and then since you had to swing the arms out, go ahead and peg them back into place. Now, one thing I want to show you that I think is really cool. If you remember truck mode, you have these little vents on the side. Well, if you notice right there where my finger is, on each side is a little divot. That's actually a place where the edge of the frame can peg in. So it does peg into something. It doesn't really peg, but it sits there. That's really ingenious to me. And of course, after you do that, just go ahead, whip out the foot, pegs in the bottom, and here you have Offroad in its leg mode, which I think is the standard configuration. I've gone ahead and pretty much returned Offroad to robot mode to go into arm mode, since that would be a little bit easier. The only thing that I didn't do is unpeg the legs. Those need to stay together. And I've also kept the headpiece back just for ease of getting to the combiner port. First, what you want to do is rotate the head around, rotate out the combiner port. At this point, you can just go ahead and bring in the side panel there. Next, what you want to do is go ahead and bend the arms backward. You're not going to rotate them. You're just going to bend them backwards on the elbow. And there are little tabs right here on the side of the truck that will peg into forearm spots on the forearm right inside there that will hold the arms in place. Might take a little bit of work to get them in. You know, I'm not gonna lie. You know, they're not gonna peg in, but they will sit there. You know, we're also not bringing the arms down, so just like that. You know, they'll sit in on a little bit of an angle. I know that might, like this, they'll angle inward, and you can just bring the panels down like that. It's really up to you what you want to do with them. And yeah, just from that point on, the next step is, since we're gonna do them as a right arm, just go ahead, rotate the waist around so that little nub point and the back of the truck is facing forward. Go ahead, bend the arm up. Here's the hand. It'll go ahead and peg in. Just so you know, on mine, the fingers for Menasor are rather tight to get out, so that little peg helps very much in opening up the hand. But here you have Offroad in its arm mode. It's very nice, and I do appreciate the fact that, like on the other limbs, there is a way to secure the forearms and arms into place instead of just pegging them down to the side. And like all the other limbs, you do have that like double elbow joint, which kind of helps. And the hips are solid, so I don't feel that this is going to be a weak limb mode. One thing I almost forgot to mention is, besides being a paint match for Wild Rider, this figure was also a bit of a tribute to the old TriggerCon Ruckus. Uh, Unfortunately, they couldn't use the name, so that's why they went with Offroad. But the head design is very close to what Ruckus used to look like. That was a fun little figure with the you know, the ability to have these spring out shoulder weapons. So it's nice to see it included, and who knows, maybe somewhere down the line with the Transformers Club or wherever, we'll do this figure as a proper Ruckus mold. If you're not a completist on Combiner Wars and are just looking to pick up one or two figures, like Alpha Bravo, I can highly recommend Offroad. I think it's a great standalone figure. The transformation is cool. The limb weapon integration is fun, and a real throwback to the old G1 Stunticons. So that's my recommendation. These figures should be hitting stores March. As of this recording, it's March 2nd. So that could be tomorrow, end of the month, today, who knows. But keep your eyes out. It's a good figure, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it. This is your old pal Chuck for Offroad. We'll see you next time.